All right. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this 60-minute workshop on Microsoft Word. You would be surprised to know that this is the first open training that I'm doing on Microsoft Word, long or short. As a matter of fact, I have never, ever done a training on Microsoft Word. Even though a lot of my clients ask us for trainings, the demand is very small. One reason is that, while a lot of companies work on Word, they don't really have any, um, additional or special requirements. But then, as I saw from the key expectations that I asked you in that form, the same things would come over and over again. I want to learn tips and tricks, create better documents, create more professional reports. I want to learn what more is there that is possible in Word, right? So I will touch upon a few of these things. Personally, my use case on Word is very limited. I mean, at least in the last 1 or 2 years, I think other than creating invoices, there is nothing that I do on Word. Maybe a few outlines here and there, some proposals. But then, prior to starting Havisham Consulting, I was running some market research firms. And there, obviously, Word used to be super important for me, right? So I'm certified in Microsoft Word, and I obviously have done very advanced topics in Word as well. So some of these things we'll be covering today. Some of you have me added on LinkedIn. I'm sure you have me added on LinkedIn. That's how you must have seen the post. Maybe we have communicated earlier. Just a quick background as to what I do. So I run an analytics firm called Havisham Consulting. We are predominantly in Excel and Power BI. So about 70% of our work is in Excel and Power BI. Then another 10, 15% is in Tableau. And the final 15% is in data science. So Python, R, web apps, and so on and so forth. The business is two arms. One is consulting for corporate clients and training for corporate clients on the same technologies. And the other is business schools. So I go to various business schools around the country, the top 50, 100 B schools, and I teach them through guest lectures and workshops. I have done a lot of things, and my career has been a zigzag. So I have not just been in analytics. I have had a corporate stint, had a stint in education for a few years, started my PhD, which I did not complete, then ran some market research firms. And then 2 years back, I decided to come full-time into analytics. But I've been in analytics for a very long time. But I don't want to get into all those things since the focus is on Word. So I don't want to get into analytics for today's session. In terms of analytics, if you have any questions around Excel, Power BI, Python, and all, you can always ask me on LinkedIn later. All right. In terms of Word, this is what I want to show you today. I have prepared a list of things. One is obviously shortcuts and tips and tricks. How do you save yourself time when you're working on Word? The other is how to handle text, which is what we'll be doing most of the time. Again, how to save time, how to use space special, reordering of bullet points, how to make more professional reports, and how to use some new functions in Word, which include thesaurus. Thesaurus has been there for a while, but dictate and translate. Then in terms of page layout, size, colors, preparing the document as such, smart arts, which we usually use in PowerPoint, but I strongly feel we should be using it in Word as well. Then we have advanced editing. Then we have managing tables and something called embed, which means that how do we work with Excel files and Word together? How to work with images, which I'm sure all of us do. If not, we should be doing it even more. And the final thing is working with Addins, right? So that's the outline that we have. All right, I think without further ado, let's get started. The chat window is open, so if you have any query, you can either unmute yourself or you can put it on the chat window. I will keep an eye. So any questions that come, if I have the answer, I'll be more than happy to answer it. All right, now when we're working on Word, the first thing that most of you would probably have ignored or not use very frequently is the query bar, which is, let me also turn on my annotation tool. So the query bar, everybody, is this search bar that you see at the top. And how this works is, this works in Excel, PowerPoint, Word. It's like a Google search bar for Microsoft. That means, let's take an example. Let us say I have written something. I'm just writing 2 paragraphs of text. And I want to change something here, whatever it is, right? I want to change the alignment, right? Now, usually we take our mouse and then we go to that tab and we select that option, right? Even if we remember where that option is, it still takes us some time. So what should you do? The shortcut is Alt Q, Q for query or Q for question. So all you have to do is to press Alt Q. You go inside the search bar and you can type what you want. So I say align, and very smartly, it will automatically select all the options that pertain to align. As you can see, I have all my options there. Let's do something different. Let's say I want something related to font. So I can type font and it gives me font settings, font size, font color, like this. And it's much faster, isn't it? Because rather than taking the mouse and every time going to that tab and going and clicking on that small button, it's much easier to just come here and do it. And it's getting smarter with time. So anything that you need, right? So if I have a word called powerful and I want to search for a synonym, maybe an alternative word, I can just press Alt Q, go to thesaurus, click on it, and it will tell me alternative words that I can use, right? So this is something I use all the time in Excel, Word, and PowerPoint. The second thing is to use the quick access toolbar, which is on the top left corner. What does it do? You notice that right now my QAT, my customized quick access toolbar, is giving me some options, but I can add any command that I want. For example, let's say there is one button that you use very frequently, whatever it is. Maybe on layout, you have margins that you're using all the time. So I can right click on margins and I can add it to the quick access toolbar. What does that do? It adds the button here so that whenever I need to change the margin, I don't have to go to layout and margin. I can just press Alt, the letter or the button Alt along with 1, and I get all the options there. It's just like a list of shortcuts. Like on your phone, you create a list of shortcuts. Similarly, on MS Office, Excel, PowerPoint, and Word, you can create a list of shortcuts. If you want to delete it, simply right click and delete it from there. Right? The next thing is to minimize the ribbon. So this entire area that you see at the top, it's taking up too much space, isn't it? Like I just want to read my document. I don't want to see that extra space being wasted. The shortcut for this is Control F1. So Control F1, and then we have Control Shift F1. What do? Control F1 will hide the commands, and Control Shift F1 will hide the complete ribbon. That means there are no tabs, no command. At the bottom, the status bar has also been hidden. Advantage, you are able to see much more text at the same time. The same shortcut works in Excel, PowerPoint, and Word. Okay? All right. The next tip that I can give you in terms of working with large documents, let's say we have a large document here. I'm just putting some text here. By the way, RAND is a function in Word. What it does is it creates some random text for you. So what am I doing right now? I'm saying I'm creating, let's say, 100 paragraphs with 4 lines, sentences each. If I say 1,4, what will it do? 1 paragraph with 4 sentences. If I say 4,4, it will create 4 paragraphs with 4 sentences, right? So I'll just create a large document, 100 by 4, like this. And we have, as you can see, a number of pages here. How do you work with multiple pages? This is what I want to show you, because documents are typically long, right? Now, there are a few ways you can handle it. The first thing is to explore the View tab, because in View, you have the vertical layout, which is the default, but you also have a side-to-side page movement. I don't know why people don't use it, maybe because they haven't bothered to check it, but it's very handy. When you click on side-to-side, it allows you to see the documents like this, right? Extremely, extremely helpful, right? It's a very small difference, but it looks more like a book, right? And it's easier to go consume it. Now, I'm not sure if you have the new option or not. I have it because I have Microsoft 365. You might or might not have it. You will have to check. But if you have Office old versions, it might not be there. There is something called an Immersive Reader. What does it do? It is essentially giving me the entire document in a very compact space. That means I can say I want to select only. Manav, you press Ctrl Shift F1 once again. It's a toggle, right? So if you press Ctrl Shift F1, you can press it again. So everyone, this is so cool. What I can do here is I can simply go to line focus on my Immersive Reader and say 3 lines. And this allows me to essentially go through the document 3 lines at a time, or I can go to 5 and I can go through it 5 lines at a time. See, when you're editing, when you're proofreading, you know what I mean, right? Because it is taking away all the distractions, right? And it is, you're able to focus on the lines, and especially when you're identifying extra spaces, punctuation, spelling mistakes, typographic errors, it's very handy to do this. Also, there is a feature called read aloud. I'm sure you can guess what it is. So let me just turn on my share sound so that you can hear it. Read aloud will
Different galleries, themes and styles also help keep your document coordinated. When you click design and choose a new theme, the
make the
pictures,
speed a
charts,
little slow.
and smart graphics change to match your new theme. When you apply styles, your headings change to match the new theme. Save time in Word with new buttons that show up
So
where.
expect many more AI features like this to get added in the future, right? So this is the immersive reader that we have in View. It's a new group, so you might not have it. Then we also have the focus button, very simple. It eliminates all distractions. So when you click on focus, you get a nice black background, no buttons, no command, nothing is there. You can just focus on reading, right? It's like the dark mode, sort of. Also in the focus mode, they will be adding, like you can access the commands if you want to, but it is always hidden. So it's Control Shift F1 basically. The other things that you can do to make reading data much easier, reading text much easier, is to use something called split. Again, in the View tab. Why do you need it? Let us say I have some text on the first page and I have some text on the 7th page, and I want to compare it or read both at the same time. Now in Excel, you can have multiple sheets. In Word, it's so irritating. No, you have to come to the top, then you have to go to the bottom, then again come to the top. I hate this. What do? Click on split, and this allows you to, do you see this? I can see different pages of my Word document at the same time. So if you want to copy, paste, compare, or maybe just read 2 pages at the same time, you'll be able to do that, right? So you have a split like this. Then you also have a view side by side, right? I'll not get into that right now. View side by side essentially allows you to open yet another Word document so that I can see 2 documents at the same time. So look how cool this is. I can see one document, I can see 2 pages of that document, and I can also see the other document at the same time. I'll give you an example of this also. Wait. Let me first remove the split. Manat, I have no idea. You can probably Google and see what shortcuts you have on the Mac. I'm not a Mac user. I'm a Windows user. Uh, and I will not even attempt to guess the shortcut because I have no idea. But I'm sure shortcuts would be there. You'll just have to Google it. Right. The next thing is something called new window. This one, everyone. The new window concept is that if you want to see 2 pages at the same time of the same document, you can make a copy of the Word document. For example, we are working on document 2 at the moment, and I have 10 pages with me. But I want to look at another page, right? Maybe page number 2 and page number 8. So what do? Rama, PDF is a PDF reader, no? So what options that PDF reader has will be different to Word, right? Maybe if you're opening a PDF in Word, I don't know how that works. I haven't tried it, but you'll have to check. Perhaps it works, but I don't have a clear answer for you. What is the objective? I want to view page number 1 and page number 5 at the same time. So I'll click on new window. And if I press Alt Tab, you will notice that I have 2 copies of the same file. Document 2 1, document 2 2. But why are we doing this? Because now I can take my document like this, okay, and take it to the left corner of my screen. So I'm going to multitask. I'll select this. Do you see how nice this is? I can see the same document, but I can see different pages of the same document at the same time, right? Obviously, you can see different documents at the same time as well, but especially if you want to see different pages of the same document, what we need is new window, right? All right. Let me see if there's anything else here that I want to show you. Not really. Okay. So these are shortcuts. Quick recap. Control F1, Control Shift F1. Using the search bar, using the quick access toolbar for shortcuts. You can also create your own tab like I have done called Havish, but I'll not do it. It will take some more time. But you can just Google it, how to create your own tab on MS Word. And then I have told you that you can also create a split and you can also create a new window so that you can see different pages of the same document at the same time. Yeah, we don't have a side-by-side split. We only have a vertical split. So in split, we have view and split here. Right? This one. You can change this. So I can make one smaller and one larger, taller and shorter. But vertical is not possible. Vertical becomes it becomes a new document, right? Okay. These are tips and tricks, but I also want to show you this amazing feature, which is dictate. I'm sure you can guess what it is. Dictate allows you to speak to the system and it will transcribe your speech into text. It works with a few languages, even Hindi has been added. So I click on dictate. You can click on the dictate button and Microsoft Word will automatically convert my speech into text. Microsoft keeps on adding more and more capabilities to the dictate feature. And at the moment, English is the primary language, but there are about 7 other languages that are supported. And we expect that the features will keep on getting more robust and they will keep on adding and enhancing the features. So you get the idea, right? And you can see in settings that I have spoken language and I can select a bunch of different languages, including Hindi, which has been very recently added. My Hindi is horrible, so I'll not attempt to speak something in Hindi, but it works really well. The other thing we have is translation. So I have some text with me. In review, we can go to translate and I can just translate it from within the Word document. So I can go to translate selection and I can change it to any language that we want. And all the languages that you expect will be supported here. So let me just try Hindi here. And as you can see, that works really well. Right? So I just click on insert. It works very well.
Hi, Avish. I just have one doubt. This is Dr. Ratika here. I want to find out, where do you get that dictate? Is it under view?
Yeah, so dictate will be under the home tab. If you don't have it, that means you have an older version of Microsoft Office.
Okay.
So you will have to get Microsoft 365 for this.
Acha, under home, which option? Like, how do you go for dictate? Like,
on the right side.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
There is something new that they have added called editor. It came, I think, some months back. Editor is it's like Grammarly. I'm sure you must have all seen Grammarly, right? It's a little bit like that. Not as powerful, obviously, but the editor button essentially tells you if there is any grammatical mistake. Commas left out, the comprehension is not very clear. Like right now it's telling me that there is a grammar issue because I haven't put a comma after supported. Right? So you can do this. And so it's getting smarter. Like I would not say it's very good right now, but then every once in a while it works very well. Like if you notice this point, it says at the moment. So it's telling you that we don't really write at the moment. Now is a more concise way of speaking. So like I said earlier, AI features will keep on getting added to all Microsoft applications. Right?
And this one last doubt. Where did you get translate from?
Translate is a review, but this again is a Microsoft 365 feature. Translate. Okay. Now anything else? Okay. Now when we have some text, let's come to text now. One of the first things that I like to do is to play around with the margins. So in layout, we have margins.
Sorry to disturb you, sir. एक बार आपने जो अभी dictate का option बताया था feature, वो कौन से tab में था?
Review
is in home on the right side.
One was in home and another one was in review.
So one is in review. Review has read aloud and translate, and home has dictate.
Dictate. Right.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. To create a professional document, one of the first things that I like to do is to reduce the margin. I don't know why the margin is so much. If you notice, the default margin is 2.5 centimeters, right? 1 inch is too much. I like to set it to narrow, which is half of that, half an inch. And I feel it's much, it creates a document that is shorter. And at the same time, it allows you to basically show more text and make it cleaner. Now you might say, but Havish, it's not looking good because there is too much text. I agree with you. And you know what we should do? Select the text, go to layout, go to columns and break it into 2 columns or 3 columns. You will understand when I do it. 2 columns makes it like this. So nice, right? Now it looks more like a professional report that you get from a PwC or a BCG like this. Personally, I feel every document that you prepare should be created in 2 columns. I'm sure nobody will come back to you and complain saying, why did you do it? It's so much better, right? Another option is you can go to 3 columns and then change the layout, the orientation to landscape like this. I like this. So even though it's not a portrait, it makes it very easy for you to present a lot of text at the same time and basically make it look good. Yeah, so Prithvi, if a command is not there in your version of Office, you can't add it. Right? There is no way to add anything. If it's there, it's there. But if it's not there, that means you have to update your version. Right? Microsoft 365 only costs you 4,299 for 1 year, right? And I'm sure you can all afford to pay 4,300 a year. So even if your organization or institute is not giving you a copy of Microsoft 365, which has all the features, I think you should all spend that money because how else will you learn if you don't even have the latest features with you?
So
Great.
how do you split this entire paragraph into entire workbook into 2 paragraphs?
So we have columns in layout and we can select 2 or 3 columns. Right? Then you have some additional options like left. So left means that there is you have seen magazines, right? So this is how magazines usually have the document. Just give me a moment. Let me undo it a few times. We have this left like this, which basically makes a thin column on the left and a thicker column on the right. And then you have, of course, more columns where you can customize this as much as you want. And it is not necessary that the entire document is like this. You can make one page, maybe the cover page like this, and all the other pages are different. How did I organize these paragraphs after splitting the column? They're already organized. I don't have to do anything. Once I click on columns and I select 2 columns, what organization do we require? Oh, this thing, justify, Control J. This
Control J, right?
Right? Control J, it's justification. Okay. The next thing is how do you make that cover page impressive? Like right now, it looks very boring, doesn't it? Now, usually I like to have some image or some text on top of my document, and I don't want to use words, smart art, and all of that at the moment. Smart text, this thing, text effects. I don't like this, all these effects. So what we should do is to go online and we quickly go to Canva. And on Canva, you can literally design anything. So as you can see, I have, if I scroll to the right, I have many things available. I'll search for an A4 document. And what I personally like to do is to use Canva to create my cover page. As you can see, there are many cover pages. Let's say this one. It looks absolutely brilliant. And I can obviously modify it, move everything around. Whatever I don't require, I can delete it. I can change the color as well, right? So I just put some different color in it. So you can see everything is editable. But then how do you put it as a Word document? You cannot download it as a Word document, but it's an A4, so you can download it like an image. And you can put it on the Word document. That means I'll download it, please watch. I'll download it as an image, which means as a JPEG. Come back, and then I'll just insert an image. Go to my downloads folder and select this. And the only thing we have to do is on the image options, I'll cover this in detail later. On the image options, you have to select this one, which is in front of text, the bottom right one. Once you have done this, just place it in the corner, just zoom out, expand it. Now you tell me, if I'm presenting a report like this, how does the reader know whether I have done it on Word or whether I have put an image in? And it's not cheating, right? Because it's not that we need to edit it. And even if we need to edit it, I can always insert a text box on top of it and do some editing, right? So nobody's stopping me from doing that. I can even add my own image. So be smart, be practical. You're not winning any awards for saying, no, I will not use all this. I will create everything myself. That's ridiculous. What you should do is go online, especially to Canva, look at the hundreds and thousands of options that they have, and just pick the one you want, download it as an image, and put it on your own document, right? That's what you should do. And in terms of where will you get images from, if you want copyright-free images, you should go to Pixabay, which is Pixabay, which is also owned by Canva now. And these are all royalty-free. So anything you want, let's say I want something related to business, I have this exceptionally high resolution images that are available here, right? If you're sending a Word document where you have the ability to, I mean, you're sure that somebody is going to view them on their laptop, what you can do is you can also insert videos. So you can insert an online video and you can insert the URL, so the video will play inside the Word document. Right. Then other than this, in layout, what else is there? Yeah. Now I want to give you an advanced tip.
So if we want to attach an Excel sheet link in MS Word, then how it
We'll do that. We'll do that. I'll cover that topic. Right. So before that, when you're working with bullet points, I'm sure all of you have faced problems with bullets, correct? Because when you're working with bullets, you try to cut and paste it and the bullets don't work properly, right? This is how you do it. Please watch. Never, ever, ever do this. Do not do Control X and Control V because it just doesn't work. Every time there will be some or the other problem. What you should do is to use Alt, Shift, up and down arrow. The shortcut is, let me just write it for you here, just a minute. So we have Alt, Shift, up arrow and Alt, Shift, down arrow. That means if I do Alt, Shift, up, I'm moving the point like this, or I can even move 2 points at the same time. If I'm doing Alt, Shift, down, I'm moving it down. And how do you make a point a subpoint? I can press Tab to make it a subpoint, or I can press Shift Tab to make it a point. There are many other things in it. For example, in the ruler, you have many more controls. So you can change the way these indents work, which are called hanging indents. These are very advanced topics. I'll not get into details right now. The Word is very difficult to work with, let's be honest. But if you want to create very professional documents, then understanding how this part works, right? How the ruler works is super important. It will take you some time, but definitely worth the effort. Ramya, there's just a download button. I mean, on Canva, I don't really know what else to say. There's just a download button, which you can just download it as an image. Just select an image and download it. Okay, coming back. Just a minute. Right. If you're copying something from the internet, let's say I go to Wikipedia and I copy something from here, or maybe from a Word document. The trick when you're pasting is to press Control V, obviously. But then how do you remove the format? That means the color, something is bold, something has a different font size. Very simple shortcut. The shortcut is Control spacebar. Control plus spacebar, the space key, right? If you do Control plus spacebar in one click, hyperlinks go away, all the formatting becomes uniform, the colors go away, the font color, the font size, everything becomes standard, right? Just Control spacebar. Very easy trick. There are other ways of doing it as well, but this is the one that I find the easiest. Okay. All right. The next thing I want to show you is how to work with Excel files, right? So there are two things. One is you already have an Excel and you want to create a link to that Excel file. The other thing is that you want to create an Excel file inside the Word document, right? So I'll explain both of them to you. First, let's go to an Excel file. And let's just write Harish and Sanjay and Anmol. These are the names and these are the sales value, okay? This is 10, 30, and 40, whatever numbers. Do not copy it right now. Okay. First, what you have to do is to go to insert, go to table, and then you will insert an Excel spreadsheet, right? That means inside the Word document, you have embedded another document, which is another spreadsheet, which is a Excel spreadsheet. So if you look in the top left, it's a Word document which has another document embedded inside it. We'll copy this data, but do not do Control V. If you do Control V, it's just to paste. There's no link. What you should do is to go to, after you do Control C, to go to paste, and then you want to do a paste link, like you link to Excel files. Once you've done that, notice the formula bar, it says book 1, sheet 1, C2. That means the link has been created. I can also format it. So center align. Maybe I'll add a sum here. And I will also center align this, make it bold, and put a conditional formatting here. Something, right? Maybe a data bar like this. Once this is done, we can just minimize this area because we don't want to select the entire spreadsheet, right? We only want to select this area, maybe one more row. And now when you click outside, the Word document will look like an image. So I can increase the size. So anybody who looks at it, what will they think? It's an image. But keep in mind that it is a linked embedded object. It is not an image. That means when I change the number here, the formula also changes and the conditional formatting also changes. Right? How cool is that? Right? And there is no reason for you not to be able to select to multiple Excel files. If you want to have a formula connecting a VLOOKUP with another Excel, you can do everything because this, everybody, is an object. And at any point you can edit it, it will reopen and you can make any changes that you want inside this. Okay? As a matter of fact, even if your source Excel changes, you can go to data and you can click on edit links. I mean, this is an Excel topic, so I'll not cover this, but just so you know, somebody might say, but Havish, what if that Excel is in a different location or the Excel changes? You can change all of this. All the Excel options are appearing here. But what if it's much simpler? What if it's not an Excel, it's just a simple table like this? What if it's just a simple table like this? And you still want to see the sum? Then what do you do? In this case, you will go to layout, table layout, and the last option on the top right corner is called formula. But the formula that we're writing is a special formula. You can't just write equal to A1, A3 because this is B1, B3. Formula will be sum of above. That means you're trying to find the sum of all the values that are above. Obviously, you will get 80. And this is an advanced shortcut, but this is something we use for mail merge also. It is Alt F9. I'm not sure where else the option is there. Just let me see if you can see the merge code or something. Yeah, I don't even know where the option is or even if it is there. Anyway, the shortcut is Alt F9, everybody. So after I've done sum of above like this, Alt F9 will actually show me what is the formula that has been written behind it. See, this is not used for very complex calculations. Very simple calculations that you need can be done like this. But what happens if a number changes? How do you update it? Very simple. Simply right click on it and say update field. You don't have to manually recalculate everything. You have 4 names, you have 3 names, you want to sort it. Or let's say the sales has to be sorted in a descending order. That is also possible. You can click on sort in layout. And here you can say, I want to sort my sales column in a number, which is a number in a descending order. And without having to go back to Excel, you can sort it directly on Microsoft Word. You can leave this out. I can just select only this and sort this. So we're sorting column 2, number, descending, and it gets sorted, right? So small things is much easier to do here.
Avish, I have a very simple doubt. The fact is that, there are 2 layouts. One is on the left and the other one is on the right. So whatever you put it, like Excel sheet you put it, I think that the right one is there. And for the rest of the thing, it is the left one. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I did not understand. What layout are you referring to?
Basically, there are in the Word doc, there is one layout on the left and the other layout on the right.
This is the table layout.
This is for the table. Like, or even if it's an image, that would also have a right layout. Like all of that.
No. Images don't have no. So this is the table layout, which is a contextual tab. So if you're not inside the table, that option will not come.
Uh, yes, that's exactly
Yeah,
what was that.
that's just
Thank
the
you.
date.
Thank
Right.
you.
Let's also see what happens when we are working with a slightly larger data set. For example, a lot of people have trouble copying Excel tables into Word. Let me take a table like this, right? Now, when you paste it, very clearly you can see that it's not working properly. Maybe there are too many columns. So for your sake, let me just remove a few of them, make it a little lighter. I think that should be okay. Right. Let me select 11 of these and we will do Control V. Not working. This is what you should do. Please watch. After you have the table, select the table, go to table layout, and there's an option called Autofit. What that will do is it will autofit the content like this. Again, such a simple thing. Many people, most of 8 out of 10 people don't use it. They haven't bothered to check this. First thing, after you have done that, you can go to table design and you have these different styles available. So you can just choose any style you want. Forget the Excel. The Excel had a different style. Now I want to keep a new style. And I want to do something very special for you, not just a basic table. Let's say I choose this one. Right? Looks very nice. But then I want to keep a different color as the background of my document. That means in my in my design, I have my page color. But which color should we choose? Should we choose among these? Maybe not. So I will purposefully select a very special color. For example, I can go to a website called brandcolors.net, free website, and it has a list of big brands around the world, and it tells you what colors they are using. And you notice these colors are very interesting, not your standard run-of-the-mill colors. Let's select one. Let's say this blue. I really like this, or maybe this one. This is my brand color. Let's take something different. Perhaps this. Right? I'll copy this. I'll come back. In page color, we will go to more colors and I'll enter custom and hex code. This code I'll have to paste it along with the hash. Once we have done that, it refuses to work. I'm not fully sure. Oh, it's working. So I press OK, and that brand, very interesting color, right? Now here, I can also make sure that I don't want to see that blue. So I'll select a white color here. So contrast is very important. The moment you have a dark background and a light text, it becomes much easier to look at this, right? But I can make it even better than this. For example, I have my border styles available. So I select a border, a pen thickness, a width of 2.25. I will also change the color into something more interesting. Why don't we select from here? We already have a blue here, right? So let me select something which is a contrast, maybe this one. And then I say my border pen color should be this hex code, which I have just copied along with the hash. And where do we want to apply the border? We want to apply all borders like this. Does it not look nice? It's not special, but it definitely, see, what is the first impression? The first impression is that, oh, this person has put in some effort to create this document. They haven't just copied, pasted, and are presenting it to me. And that is what you want to show. Now, let me show you something even more than this. What if you want to highlight a small area? Maybe this is an area that you want to highlight. Okay. Now, this part is a little tricky, so you'll have to pay some attention. I'll have to copy the entire table. I'll paste it, right? I'll come below and I'll paste it, but I'll not paste it as a table. I'll paste it as a image. And why did it not get pasted like that? Okay, no problem. Let me take a screenshot. That's much easier. I'm taking a screenshot of an area. I'm just taking a screenshot of this entire area. I'll paste it. And now I want to crop, which means I'll go to picture format. I'll click on crop, and then we'll go to crop to shape. All this you can do in PowerPoint as well. So I'll select an oval, which is a circle. And then I'll click on crop one more time. And now I'll only select the area that we want. For example, maybe this very large number, do you see this 2573? I want to highlight it to the management. I want to show them why is this number so high. Right? So this area is what we want to highlight. And let me just reduce my area of selection and just select that one number like this. And now see what I can do. I have only the circle with me. I can apply a picture effect. I'll just use one of the presets, something interesting. So maybe like this, make it a little larger, and then put the image in front of text, which is that last one. And then this can come on top of this. And maybe you can add a border as well, like this. This is exactly how reports are created, isn't it? Now you might say, but Havish, we are learning the tools. You're telling us this is where you click and this is what you do. But then how do we know what we have to do? And I agree with you. Learning the tools is not difficult. You will watch the recording, you will follow the steps. Maybe you will practice 3-4 times and you will learn it, right? But then how do you know what you have to do? How do you get these ideas? As you can see, I like reading a lot of reports, and that is what you should do. For example, I have a report by BCG here. And when you read reports, you get a lot of interesting perspectives. For example, do you see how they have underlined these names and they have not put it in the center? Right? We call this off center. Off center means you're purposely not putting it in the center because it looks interesting. Do you see how this white space is kept at the top? Why? Usually we start everything at the top, but they have not done that. These are the sort of things that you learn when you look at reports. And of course, when you read it, there are a lot of interesting things like how do they use colors? Look at the margin. They have kept such a thick margin. So a lot of white space has been used so that when a person is reading, it's very easy for them to read the introduction. Now you will see that this first letter is this large, big letter. But how do you do it? Of course, you're not going to do it manually. This is called a drop cap. So in Word, you have to go to, just a minute, let me just come here. You have, I've completely forgotten where it is. Just please excuse me. I'll have to search and find it. So, that's strange.
Sir, below, just below that one. Sir, below that A. Yes, sir. Yes, yes, that one.
Oh yeah, I think I need to have some text for it. Hold on.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's why I did not find it. Yeah, so this is the one, everybody. There is a dropped. Such a small thing, right? And trust me, the moment you start using it, you like it so much, you use it everywhere. Why would you not? Because out of every 10 people in your team, I'm confident that nobody would be doing it. And you'll be the only person who does it. And the biggest thing is that somebody who doesn't even know what it is called, it's called a drop cap. They will never be able to find it because if you do it manually, you will never get this quality, right? It's very difficult. I have tried it and I know. And you also have in margin and stuff like that. So small things when you read report. Let me just take you through the report again. Of course, charts and all is a different topic. That's something that you do in Excel typically. But then I'll also show you maybe one example of how chart can be used. But first, let's come to images. And how do you get these reports from the internet? All you have to do is, let's say you want to report by, I don't know, KPMG. Simply type KPMG PDF. If you are searching for a specific sector, a sectoral report, let's say education PDF, and I have never opened it, as you can see. So you can see how they have prepared their entire document. And there's a lot of learning. Do you see? Blue background, white text. Even though I feel the contrast is not there, it's very difficult to read it. But I think our colors look much nicer, don't they? Let's compare this one with this. I feel what they have done is so difficult to read, right? Okay, now the next thing is that, yeah, what if you want to keep something like this? I like it. No, it's not a chart. They have kept these 10 circles. Now you might say, but Havish, it's so difficult. How will I create these 10 circles on Word? I want to show you how simple it is. First, I'll take a screenshot. Right, everybody? I'll take a screenshot, which is just for my reference that I'm putting here. I want to create one circle. Please watch. Insert. I want to go to shapes. I want to create. By the way, you should not do this on Word at all. You should do it on PowerPoint and then bring it back to Word. Why use Word, which is going to make it more difficult? This is the screenshot I have. Just see within maybe 2 minutes, I'll be able to do it. Please watch. Insert shapes. I'll insert a circle like this. I will remove the outline. In my shape fill, I select which color. We want the same color which has been used here, right? Then I'll copy another circle, make the size a little smaller, put it inside, perfectly aligned. Which color do we want? We want this color. We are copying the same thing. Now, how do we get more of them? Press Control and Shift, copy it to the right, select, Control and Shift, copy it below. Tell me, how long did that take? You want a background? Just make a rectangle, put it at the back, right? Put it at the back, right click, send to back, remove the outline, shape fill, eyedropper, select this blue color. Now you want these arrows, so I'll go to Insert, Shapes. In fact, I'll go to Icons. I'll select an even better arrow. So in Icons, I can select an arrow, something more interesting. So maybe this one. Okay? I really like this. So we have this arrow. Let's change the color of this arrow to white. And white again. And put it here. And just copy it once. Control Y, Control Y, Control Y. Tell me how long that took. Nothing, right? It's just what, 2 minutes, maybe 90 seconds. And just see how beautiful this is.
Sir, can you please tell again how you have copied these circles?
See, there are too many things that I've done. So it will be very difficult for me to tell you. I'll tell you once. To copy something, you have to do Control Shift. So after I have kept one shape, you have to do Control Shift and then drag it and then press Control Y like this. Then you can again select everything, Control Shift and then press Control Y. This is how you do it.
Okay, sir.
When you want to create duplicate, I think this video I also have on YouTube. Oh, I'm very confident this video is there on YouTube. But anyway, you get the idea, right? Just see how simple it was. And please do not try to be very creative. Let's be honest. Most of us are not designers. Most of us cannot appreciate colors and art and design and, and there's no disrespect. Everybody is good at something. Somebody might be a financial analyst. Somebody might be in HR. Why do we need to be good with design? But you still have to make good design because that's how your documents will look better than others, right? Please go online and read reports. Take inspiration and ideas and just copy them. They don't have a copyright on designing, right? By looking and reading at these reports, and the best part is every report will be different. Look at another one. Okay, this one does not have anything in it, but let me see if I can find something different. Okay, maybe let's show you something by EY. I've also selected a very bad sector. Let's say automotive. That would be better. Okay, just got downloaded, but never mind. Again, look at the way they're using colors. So different, right? They have this very nice navy blue at the back and a very high contrast yellow in the front, right? Look how they have kept this box with the preface. So you can't miss it. Usually, how do we write an introduction? Just that one line, right? The title. Look at the way the image and the text box and the text is all going together. Look at how circles and arrows are being used. Okay? I challenge myself, and I've been working on Excel and PowerPoint since 2000. I've been working on them for 21 years, and I've always been 5 steps ahead of everybody else because I've always been very competitive. Whenever I look at something, even though it's not made on PowerPoint, I ask myself, can I make this on PowerPoint? Even if I can't recreate it 100%, can I at least do 20%, 30%? Even if I can, I think that's a great job, right? By the way, Eva is a client of mine, so I know how they work, right? I teach them to do these things, some of these things at least. There's nothing to do, just go to brand colors and you can, any color you have, just click on that color. It will copy the code, right? So you notice 0099E5, and then you have to come back and you have to paste that code. You go to shape format, shape fill, go to more fill colors, and just put that code here, text code. Okay. All right, let me close my PowerPoint. Let me see what else is there, some big topic that I can tell you, which I have left out. Hold on. Let me clean up a little bit. We don't need all this, right? Okay, I want to talk about add-ins as well. So add-ins, again, are available, I believe, only on Microsoft 365, but you will have to check. I think it might be there. You'll have to check. Add-ins are like apps you have on your phone. So it is available in Insert, and then you have add-ins. There are many add-ins available for different things, for images, Wikipedia, all sorts of things. For example, the Wikipedia add-in is so handy. Let's say I'm searching for something. I'm sorry. I'll turn on the Wikipedia add-in. I'll add it. And I don't have to go online and search for something. If I want to quickly search, let's say I want to know, I don't know, something about a company, right? So I want to know the revenue of Tesla, right? So I can just type Tesla here, and I can go to Tesla, and I can just quickly, whatever I need, I can just copy it, come back and paste it. How cool is that? So the entire point of, no, I have to go online and then I have to copy from there and then bring it back, it just goes away. It makes it so much easier. And if you are in academics, I don't think many of you are, maybe college students might find it useful. In references, you have an entire list of stuff for academic work. For example, you have different styles available here for referencing. I'll not get into all this, but you have something called the researcher. For example, in researcher, I can say that I am searching for Philip Kotler, right? So I'm searching for Philip Kotler, and it will give me the topics. I can also see different journals in which, he would have hundreds of publications, obviously. And any one that I need, I can just click on the plus sign and it gets added. How cool is that? Even more, I can create an entire bibliography. So I can create a bibliography like this. I'll not get into details here. Like I said, you have different styles here. So APA being the most popular and Chicago being used as well. And then you have many, many other things like cross-referencing, table of figures. You can create placeholders so that sometimes we don't have the information yet, but we still want to accommodate some space for it. So that's what you can do. So references is where all these academic tools are available. Okay. What else do I want to show you? Yeah, somebody asked me about developer tab as well, about macros. I'll not get into detail because that might not be relevant for most of you, but it's good to know, right? Because anybody who thinks, but how should we learn coding? I'm an Excel user or a Word user or a PowerPoint user. You have to, and I'll prove to you why. Because if you go to Addins, you will notice that we have something called the Script Lab, right, by Microsoft. And you can see here that the Script Lab essentially allows you to write JavaScript inside Word. Now, you see, I don't want to make you feel bad or anything. Okay, I'm just being very candid. You and I are in the same boat. I'm also a non-developer. I used to be, at least, right? I'm a BBA and an MBA. So I don't come from an IT background. I'm not an engineer. So I know how you feel. I felt 7 years back how you feel today. I used to ask myself, should I learn all these things? But you don't have a choice, because if you want to be an advanced user in Excel, Word, or PowerPoint, and there is a choice between you with 5 years of experience who knows a lot of things in Word and PowerPoint and Excel versus somebody who has 2 years of experience but knows coding. Of course, the person with coding knowledge will be hired because somebody who knows coding will be at least 10 times more efficient than you, because they can code, they can work faster, they can automate faster, they can do the sort of things that you can't even imagine because they can customize what they need. And I will give you an example. So take it in the right spirit. The idea of showing this to you is not to tell you, I'm a coder, so I want you to learn. If you want to survive for the next 5-10 years, imagine today, everybody is talking about AI, ML, Power BI, Tableau, right? 5-7 years back, not so much. Power BI was not even there 5 years back. Look how much has changed in 5 years. Imagine what will happen by 2026. So if you want to prepare for the future, this is the future of Microsoft. Microsoft is very clear on this. So if you want to be prepared for the future, please start learning coding. How you're going to do it, please go and ask somebody, but you really should. Please go on.
Havish, I picked up like R and Python, and they're quite similar. Then I also worked with SAS, but SAS from till now, the time I've learned till now has changed. Then there is EViews and there is SPSS and all that. But what I want to find out, all I've done is like, I know SQL also. I have one doubt. Which language is Java similar to? I do not know. I do not know Java. Like, which language is Java similar to?
Okay, Java is not similar to anything. Java is not used for the sort of things that you use Python and R for. First things first. Python and R,
right.
Mostly you will see for data science, even though there are other applications as well. Right? Java is for creating core applications. Right? You will not use Python to create executable applications. Maybe you can
Okay.
discuss with me offline because it's not really related to.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
No, that's okay. I mean, it's a good question. I'm sure others would like to listen to it too. But I just want to cover a couple of things, right? So,
Sure.
all right. I just want to show you. I have created some add-ins on Microsoft Word, and I want to show you what they do for me. Do you see all of this, everybody? Let me tell you what they do. How many times have you tried to do find and replace? And it's so irritating, no? Because when you do find and replace, every time you have to do it, that means I will say video should be replaced by another word, provide should be replaced by another word. So what did I do? I created my own button called find and replace multiple. What does it do? It allows me, and all of this has been done by me, okay? I can put all the words. So I can say video, I can say provides, and I can say, I don't know, example, right? Okay, then what do I replace them with? I will say video should become, I don't know, moving images, right? And then I have provides, let's say delivered, right? And then I have example, so I just call it EG. What it will do is, if you notice, multi-find and replace. Sanjay, if you're there, I hope you're looking at this.
Yes,
How
sir, I'm
amazing
there.
is this?
Yes, sir.
Nobody has this feature, right? In Word, no matter how good you are, if you want to replace, which I'm sure we do, right? We have written something, then we realize, no, it should, in the entire document, all the 50 instances should be replaced with something different. What is the problem? First replace, second replace, third replace, fourth replace. What I have done is, I have said you can replace multiple items at the same time. Similarly, I have done something called indents. I think somebody asked me this question as well about page breaker. Those of you who work in the corporate would have seen that sometimes cleaning Word documents is very difficult, right? You try to cut and paste, but there is some space that just does not get deleted. You try to paste something and it just doesn't come properly. For example, you look that there are some indents here, right? All of this. And it's so irritating now because how do you fix all of this? So because it's irritating and you want to fix this, the first thing that you need to learn is how these work. How does Word understand what is a line break, what is a page break, what is a tab stop? For example, when I press tab, what happens? When I press enter, what happens? When I press shift enter, what happens? Because there's a difference. To do this, you will turn on the small button called show and hide the paragraph mark and other symbols. What it does is, let me explain it this way. When I press enter, enter is this reverse P. When I press shift enter, it is this arrow. Do you see the difference? When I press alt enter is also the same thing, but when I press control enter, it gives me a page break like this. Similarly, in layout, when I say I want to create, let's say a different type of break, maybe a section break. So maybe I want to have this, a section break. Now it has created a section continuous break. Please understand these symbols are hidden, right? So the system can understand it, you can't. So if you're ever having trouble managing your Word document, please turn this on. But then how do you use them? You can either click on tell me more. Also, when you go to find and replace, right? Control H. In more, you have a special option here where you can select all these special characters which are invisible to the eye. They are there, but you can't view them. See, I can't explain all this in 2 minutes. It's a very advanced topic. You will have to go online and search for it. But my job in this 60 minutes is to tell you that these things are there. Now that you know, oh, there is something called special characters, Havish told us, I can go online and search for these things, right? Like all this. Okay.
Hi, sir.
Hi.
Sir, I wanted to ask, sir, when we look for special characters like new and all, so we have a hard time finding the shortcuts
Insert
for that.
symbol.
So what I
you go to
wanted
insert. This is how you do
right,
it.
sir. Right, sir. But we don't see, like, I don't know how to search that within a minute. So I just go to Google and see the shortcut for that. It takes time, sir. What can we do?
I'll tell you what you should do. Do you use the same special characters over and over again? Right? It's not that every time you're using 10 new special characters, correct?
So, like if it's only for new, then it's fine.
Let us say there is a list of 25 special characters which you're using again and again. Is that okay?
Yes, sir. Yes.
What I will do in such a case is I will create one document with all the characters in it. Okay. I will save it somewhere on my system. And then whenever I need to use it, I can go to home and I can go to reuse files. And I will just select that file. It will give me all the characters and I'll just copy and paste it. That's the easiest way. No? Otherwise, if you have a numpad on your system, you can do Alt, but you'll still have to remember it. You'll have to press Alt, so and so and so. Maybe you can also do one more thing in Office options. You can go to language or proofing maybe, and you can enter your own shortcuts. Just a minute. No, not custom dictionaries. What we want to do here is autocorrect. Yeah. Maybe you can do this. Not really sure where it is. Just give me a moment. Language, save, proofing, grammar refinement. So there is an option which allows you to add your own characters, right? But you'll have to check. I don't remember offhand where it is. Maybe you can do something like this. I can say that whenever I'm writing A99, I don't expect you'll be writing A99 anytime. So you can see that A99 should be replaced with a special character. So next time, for now, I'm just writing Havish here, right? And I'll add it. You can make as many of these as you want. And once you've done this, the next time I write A99, it will change it to Havish. So maybe you can identify the 10 most important ones. Just give them a keyword like A91, A92, A93, something like that.
So I always thought that maybe I'm missing something. Maybe there is an easier way to explore the.
Not really. Not really. How can there be? Because there are like 1,000 characters, no? So how? I mean, your need would be very different to somebody else's need. I'm not even sure if here you will have some option. Yeah.
I mean, you can find them in equations.
Maybe equations might be a good idea. Equation might help you a little bit with that. Maybe insert the equation and then copy it from there. That's the only thing I can think of. Oh, have you tried this? Hold on. Have you tried insert new equation? Because you can type it. For example, I can insert a new equation. And in equation, you will have, I don't know what you need. Again, that's the problem. Where is the ink equation? Just a minute. Insert equation, ink equation. That's the one. Ink equation allows you to type something. So if I need, let's say, a mu, type a mu, draw a mu, it will give you a mu. How much simpler can it get?
That's great. Yeah.
Right?
That is great.
I'm not able to hear you. I hope this helps.
It's
Yes,
econometric made easy.
Okay, let me just see what other questions are there. Ikrant, I'm not going to answer questions not related to Word. You can pick it up with me offline. I'll be happy to tell you. Which language, Rashi, again, pick up with me offline. Ramya, once again. Anything related to Word that you need to ask?
So I have one major doubt, sir. I've been wondering it for days. So whenever we do a project, right? So we suppose we have to write a 2,000 word project. Sir, I've always wondered what they do in organizations while making a report or any such thing. Sir, like, do they actually go on typing word by word everything? Because, for example, if you get some piece of content from somewhere and it should not be plagiarized, right? So you have to write it in your own words. So it takes a lot of time, sir. It consumes a lot of time. So I was just wondering that what to organizations.
First things first, organizations that are doing stuff internally, they don't care about plagiarizing. If you're doing it for external stakeholders or for the public, then of course plagiarizing is something you need to keep in mind. There are tools for everything, no? So Turnitin allows you to check for plagiarism, and most organizations have access to it. Who, like in market research, they have access to Turnitin. That's one. But this is mostly for academic work, right? And in any case, see, people are experts. I mean, there are experts who are sitting down and doing this job. The person, let's say, who's the analyst or the director is not going to sit down, and the job of the director is to sit down and say, I'm going to give you all the content in a haphazard manner. Before it gets published, it's going to go through multiple levels of check. I mean, that's how I'll put it. And there are softwares that reword it as well. There are specialized software that will reword text for you.
Quillbot and all, they
Yeah, but
paraphrase.
they're not really used. I mean, I at least in my experience of training 75 odd companies, I've never seen anybody use it. I mean, like, why would you need text? Text is either for legal documents, obviously that is legalese, so that is handled separately. Otherwise, when is text really used? Think about it, other than market research.
Right, sir, right.
Yeah,
Sir,
good.
sir, can
I
you
see.
show like how to add index?
What index? Table of content.
Yeah, table.
Okay, so that's very simple. Let's say I have rand 5, rand 10, 1. So I have 10 lines. You have to open up the navigation page. So you go to view and open up the navigation page. And you have headings here. Right now we don't have any headings. So what I can do is I can select everything and I can go to home and select heading 1, this one. Okay, in styles. You notice I get headings for let's say these are chapter headings. Okay, so these become my 10 chapters. Let's say this is a sub chapter, so now you can just say right click and demote, so it becomes a sub chapter. This is also a sub chapter. Maybe this is a sub chapter, like this. That's how headings are designed. You can also create your own styles if you want to. So you can go to create a style, and you can create your own styles of headings as well. Most organizations do that. They have a template that is, templates are mostly for PowerPoint, but certain organizations might do it for Word documents as well.
So from here we can create index, right?
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, I did not show that. Yeah. So once this is done, right, all you have to do is you go to insert. I'm sorry, you go to references, and then you say table of content and table of content, like this.
Okay,
So
got it.
the headings first have to be created, then the table of content comes into play.
Okay, got it, sir.
Great. Anything else? Anybody?
So where we can find? So we will be getting this recording, sir.
This will be on YouTube, so you can watch it there.
Okay. Okay.
Great. Anything else? Anyone?
No,
Anything I could help you with?
Thank you so much for page breakers. Like I was really struggling. Thanks for that.
Most welcome. So thank you everyone for joining in. We have stretched the session a little bit. So I hope you had takeaways from all of this. You might definitely want to go back and practice all these things. It's like about many things. And when you start practicing, you will realize that they are not that simple. Even though I did it very quickly, when you do it yourself, you will see that it's a little difficult. But that's all right. I mean, you can spend some time.
Thank you so much, sir, for your time.
Most welcome. And all the people who had questions related to R, Python, programming, and stuff like that, we are connected on LinkedIn. Feel free to drop me a PM there.
Okay, sir.
Excellent. Thank you.